Hey, what's up everybody? This is part 2 of the macro practice series, and I've got to be a bit quiet today because my little niece is sleeping over there. We're over at our cousins for Christmas, so it's Christmas Day tomorrow. I just wanted to make sure that I got the second part of this video done because I want to get a video done for you guys every single day because you're awesome and I love you guys. So you remember that we were doing all of these different pieces. I'm going to see if I can line them all up, make it look nice and pretty. All right, so I had all this music that I had to learn, and in part 1, I mentioned how we would do the practice cycle. Okay, so the first way of practicing it, so we'll call this part 1, was the cycle. Okay, and I'll just do a little picture to represent that. That's where you would go from one piece to the next to make sure that you had it all from memory and at the forefront of your mind. So that might take you 2 or 3 days to get through the cycle. So that's the first part of practice, and that could be in the morning or the afternoon, depending on when you wanted to do that. And part 2, all right, which we're going to talk about today, is what I call the hard bits, okay? The hard bits. So part 1 is all about memory and making sure that our mind's going to run smoothly when we perform. Part 2 is making sure that we can drill down on those hard bits, so when they do come up in performance, we're ready and we feel prepared for it. All right, so what I will do is I will create a list of all of the hard bits from all of these pieces, all right? An entire list. And you know, part 2 is kind of like part 1 in a way, because you'll still do a practice cycle, all right? But it'll be a practice cycle where you're going through all of the pieces inside of this list here. Okay, so for example, you do that, and you just keep going around the cycle, and you might stop there on that day, and the next day you pick it up from here. Yeah? All right, so what I'll often do is I'll practice part 2 in the morning and then practice part 1 at night. And so just to be clear here, part 2, I'm just grabbing all of the hardest bits from all of these pieces and making a big list of them and just drilling down on those hard sections. And by practicing this way, so this is a macro view of how I practice, it means that I still have all of this music at the forefront of my mind, but I've also spent a good amount of time drilling down on the hard bits. And just to give you an idea of how much time I might spend on this, part 1 might take me, when I was doing lots of practice, might take me 1.5 hours, okay? That's later on when I really get to know my piece as well. It only takes about 1.5 hours to get through a 45-minute recital and make sure that I know the music really well, iron out any mistakes that I might have come across or parts that don't feel quite confident in my memory. And then I might spend about 4 to 5 hours. Keep in mind, this was like a pivotal part in my life when I was really focused on piano. So you don't have to be doing this much practice. But I'd spend like 4 to 5 hours then doing part 2 where I was really drilling down on the hard bits, yeah? So that's it. Now, there is another type of practice. You could kind of call it part 3. And you know what? I will do this quickly. I've got to go out to dinner with the family soon, but we still got a little bit of time. So part 3 is usually I'll only do this last 1 or 2 weeks before performance. And this is where you practice going through the entire piece, preferably in front of someone. So not just the piece, but often even the entire recital. So I'm just going to call this practice recital. Yeah. All right, so it's really important to get used to doing entire run-throughs because you'll often find that there are parts in the music that you have difficulty with when you run all the way through that you didn't think you would have difficulty with on the day, like these weird bits that keep cropping up. So part 3 is also really important, but I usually only do that like right before the recital and spend most of my time doing the practice cycle in the morning so that I know and I feel confident, I know the pieces really well, and then just smashing out all of those hard bits. So I hope you found this useful, guys, and if you did, then share it with someone else you think might also find it useful, and I'll catch you in the next video. All right, take it easy, bye.